Okay, I am back at Uxmal, and I think I'm the first person on the grounds today. And I just came through the gate, which is over there. And so, according to the map theory, Uxmal represents Asia. So let's go see that first pyramid, which according to the map theory, it represents Beijing. Putting on my glasses. It's actually nice and cool. That's why I took the 6 a.m. bus. So it could be kind of cool when I got here. I can get my videos done before the crowds are here. Then I can chill out in the restaurant until the bus comes at 1 something, and I might be able to catch the museum before they close. Maybe I should catch that bathroom first, which is over here, I think. Yep. So you can all get to see what the bathroom. Heck, I think it's locked. Now I really have to go. Ay caramba. Okay. Here it is. Pyramid of the Fortune Teller. To me, this is the most magnificent of all the pyramids on Earth. I mean, look at all the thought that went into making this thing. When you see those rounded edges, it's like, how did they make this thing? And why? And according to the map theory, we are in Beijing. And I'll show you the Tiananmen Square in a minute. But this is called the House of the Fortune Teller. In other words, the home of fortune telling. They're saying Beijing is the home of fortune telling. Well, how do I know this is Beijing? First, I don't know that it's Beijing. But second, I think it is because I checked all this stuff out, all the juxtapositions. I checked out all the temples, and I used the Dovecote group, the Palomar House, or the House of the Doves. I use it as my landmark because it's where the Himalayas are, which you'll see in a bit. And from there, see House of the Birds. See all these birds up here? Flying around. I don't know how those birds know they're supposed to live at the House of the Birds. Apparently they do somehow. Now this seems to be a sock bay. That looks like a sock bay, but I don't know why. I don't remember sock bays being here. Anyway. See, look how complex this thing becomes, right? Look at that. That's the side of it. And then you get this stuff over here. And when you get down in there, which you will in a second, it's got all these little details. I mean, lots of little details. I seem to recall going in. How did I get in there before? Oh, there it is. I think the way into the little Tiananmen Square thing is right there. So, now this one I don't recall going into before. This one right in front of me. That's pretty nifty. This one. I'm basically trying to walk through this thing before the other tourists come, because they make trouble. Here, look at this. Look how complex this thing is. Look at that. Now there are some Taiji-2 symbols on here, which the Taiji-2 symbol predated the yin-yang symbol, and they have about a dozen of them on this thing. At least that's how I interpret them. But those of you who want to come here, you got to remember, when they say $45 to video, they mean 45 pesos. The first time I came here, okay, now we're in the Tiananmen Square. And at least according to the map theory, that's what this is. That's Beijing. And this thing here's Tiananmen Square. And that pillar right there represents that pillar in the middle of Tiananmen Square. And I'll do a panoramic view because I mainly want to get to the North Group. I don't think I saw the North Group last time. So let's do a panoramic view. In fact, well, first let me show you those. See, here they are. Those Taiji-2 symbols. Okay, so here's one right here with some hugs and kisses down there, and then they just go up, right? Here's another set, and another one, and those jokers go all the way up to the top, right? I think I have a mosquito repellent, and I think the mosquitoes are laughing at it. So now, I never counted the number of those things. Okay. I should have picked up a map because I want to know how to get to the North Group. This time I've decided to leave my camera on. Normally I don't. Trying to figure out, that's like the house of the birds there. Here, because you see the birds, right? Right, these birds. Like that and like this. See, they're birds, right? And here's a whole bunch of birds squeaking over my head, as if to say, get away from the house of the birds, buddy. So, we are now looking at what would be, see, that's the governor's palace. That represents Potala Palace in Lhasa, in Tibet/China. And how do I get down there safely? I see some stairs. What's really breathtaking, majestic, is when you see the house of the fortune teller from the replica of Potala Palace. Now there's a ball court in here somewhere. I think it's to my right. Oh yeah, well this structure here, this is the house of the iguana, I think. Some of the stuff, in my opinion, is mundane, meaning like, see, iguanas are a delicacy in China, right? So this whole thing here would be China. And so there's house of the iguana. And I'm a little turned around, north, south, east, west. I must be heading south now. Yeah, that makes sense. I think Beijing is north of the, yeah, because the sun is over there, which means, and it's on my left, so that means I'm heading, yeah, that means I'm heading south. All right, so let's go to that ball court. Here's what I think is really interesting about that ball court. According to the map theory, ball courts represent earthquake zones. And when I laid this all out on a map, in other words, I looked at the juxtapositions in Google Maps or something like that, I found that there was a major earthquake zone in this certain part of China. And when I looked at where it was, it was like Qinghai, Yushu County or province, Qinghai. And then when I checked earthquakes there had been a major one in 2012. So this is showing us the, I think it's called the Eurasian Rift or something like that. Major earthquake zone in Asia. And yeah, so I'm going south. So that's the House of the Turtles right there. And that's the governor's palace. And that thing is rectangular because, as you will see, well, as you can see in actual, sorry, I'm having too many thoughts at once. I should mention this. So this is one of the ball courts. It's an earthquake zone. My theory is that these things, these ball court rings, show you the cross section of whatever the planet is. I swear some of those Mayan symbols now look a little Chinese to me. Not that I can read Chinese characters, but anyway, so yeah, so there's that nice arch. I'm sort of hurrying through this because I'm trying to get to places before the other tourists get here. I think I'm literally the first one here in the spot today. So now we're going to, I think it's called Marpori. That's the name of the hill that Potala Palace is on in Tibet. So here's what's interesting. See, well, you won't see it. I'm going to climb a hill now as soon as I can find the stairs. And that hill is going to take me to another hill. In other words, I'll be on a hill that's on a hill. And what's interesting, hey, you know, I never noticed this. This is either a cenote or a chultun right here. Here, let's see. I did not notice this last time. Wonder why. It's kind of obvious. I guess technically that's called a chultun. Well, I don't know, but almost looks like there's daylight down there. Anyway, so I'm going to climb these stairs. This looks like a good place for me to trip and fall. Uh-oh, I hear people coming. Oh, here's the way up. Sometimes you don't know the way to the end until you take the first few steps. Yes, I was actually just reading Kierkegaard just now, because my good buddy Jason was saying, you have to read more Kierkegaard. So I'm like, okay. So I read that while fear and trembling while I was standing on line to come in here. And my pants are falling down. Okay, that's the first hill. I just climbed it. You heard me breathing hard, right? I wish I had done this, started this 20 years ago. Now I'm on the second hill. What's the first hill? whatever those mountains are that Tibet's in. But then there's Marpori Hill, Red Mountain, where the palace is, and that's what this second hill represents. See, it's a hill up there, and you come down here, then you're on this one, and this is like a plateau or something, and then you go down there, right? A hill on a hill. It's laid out just like where we find the palace of the Dalai Lama in Tibet. And you get to hear me huff and puff because when I should be hiking, I've been eating potato chips. Oh great, the sun's coming out to roast me now that I start climbing. See that? That's the turtle house. Where do turtles live? Water. You know what's in that spot in real life? In Tibet? A square lake. At like Lukang Park or something. This right here, this represents the Potala Palace, Palace of the Dalai Lama. And look, you're starting to see House of the Fortune Teller rise up. Watch when I go up these steps. Now Uxmal1 came here and he said, hey, you know, when you look east, there's a mountain. Here, let me show you these twin cats. Some sites I don't want to come to and be the first one. I think that happened at Uxmal1, because when you're the first one, there's often a little pack of dogs who are nice and comfy, and they growl at you like, this is our place. Okay, so here are the twin cats. This is the east side, as you can see. There's the sun, it's morning. Sun just came up, which means this is essentially the east side or the east gate of Potala Palace, right? Well, to put it all out there, sometimes I can't think straight. I'm not really articulate when I come to these places because I'm overwhelmed. But here, you got twin cats at the east gate here, and you've got twin cats at the east gate at Potala Palace, Palace of the Dalai Lama. This place here is called the Governor's Palace by the Mayans. And the question is, how did they know it was a place of government? There's no image of a governor or something inside there, but yet they knew it. They knew this was a governor's palace. And they call this thing here a whipping post. I'm not reading the signs because I've been studying this for a while now, right? So I know what they are. The Mayans called this thing a whipping post. Well, read some of the history of Tibet, right? The wealthy lords used to have people whipped in Lhasa for various and sundry offenses. And so now, right, you see the view there. Watch when it comes up over the trees. It's pretty magnificent. And then I'll take you down to Shoal. There's like this little town at the foot of the Dalai Lama's palace in actuality. And it's called Shoal. Well, they have the same thing here. I'm keeping the camera on the House of the Fortune Teller so you can see how it like rises up over the trees, which is majestic. I'm wearing a backpack. That's my excuse for why I'm huffing and puffing.